Hi students, welcome to online class. In this video we are going to discuss about the chapter 11 functions. Now we are going to see the next function, that is mathematical functions. So still now we have discussed about the string functions and then character type functions. Character type functions and string functions we have discussed. So now we are going to see the next category of function, that is mathematical functions. So the mathematical functions are included in the header file called math.h. Mathematical functions are defined or included. All the functions are declared and defined in the header file called math.h, which includes the basic mathematical functions. So that particular header file includes the basic mathematical functions, such as we can say cos function, sine function, square root function, and then power function, and then etc. There are many mathematical functions are there, but in your book they have given 4 mathematical functions: cos function, sine function, sqrt function, and then power function, right? So now we are going to see those functions one by one. So first of all we can discuss about cos function. What is mean by cos function? The cos function takes a single argument. The cos function takes the single argument, and then the cos function returns the value in the range of -1, 1. So it is going to return the value in the range of -1, 1. And then we know very well about the cos function. Whenever we are dealing with the mathematical functions, especially these scientific calculations such as sine, cos, right? So power, at the time we will get the resultant value. The result will be a decimal number. The result will be a decimal number, that is a floating point number. It will be a floating point number. So the returned value is either in double, float, or long double. So the returned value means the resultant value. The resultant value will be either in float, double, or long double. So it will not be an integer. There is no chance for getting integer values. There is no chance for getting integer values because we are going to work with cos function. So these are scientific related terms. You know very well about cos, sine, secant, cosecant, like that you know very well about those things. So you will get the return value. You will get the resultant value. The resultant value will be in float, double, long double. So that is what they are saying, right? So now you can see the program. So hash include IO string. Then see the next line, hash include math.h. So why they are using the math.h header file? Because the math.h header file contains the mathematical functions, the cos function, sine function, all those functions are defined, declared, and then so all those things are done only in this particular header file math.h. So cos function is defined and declared, and then what is the function of that cos function? So everything is defined in the header file called math.h. The cos function is defined, declared, and then what type of function what type of action it should perform. What type of action it should perform. So everything is defined in the header file math.h. So using namespace std, then int main. Then now you see they have declared one variable called double x equal to 0.5. Double x equal to 0.5, then comma result. So why they have declared 2 variables? So first variable is we are going to in the first variable we have assigned some value. In the first variable we have assigned some value, that is double x equal to 0.5. So I am going to find out the cos value for 0.5. I am going to find out the cos value for 0.5. The result should be stored in one variable. What is the result of cos 0.5? What is the result of cos 0.5? So that result should be stored in another variable. So most of you have studied in mathematics cos 90, cos 60, cos 30 like that. So you might have studied 1 by 4, 1 by 2 like that you might have studied. The same thing, but we are going to see using a function, predefined function. We are not going to calculate, right? So already it is defined and then it is declared. So everything is done. Just we are going to insert the cos function in the program. That's all. We are going to insert the cos function in the program. So double x equal to 0.5 comma result. So x variable, for the x variable we are going to find out the cos, and then the result should be stored in the variable called result. So see the next line, result is equal to cos of x. Result is equal to cos of x. And then we are going to print the result. And then we are going to print the result. Can you understand, students? So now I am just copying this program. We can see this thing in a practical manner. So open the Dev C++. After that, Control plus N, then Control plus V. So we want to paste the program. After pasting the program, Control plus S is for save. So cos is the file name. After that, when I press F11, so before executing the program, so now what will happen? For the variable x, it is going to find out the cos value. So what is the value of x? Value of x is 0.5. So when I press F11, it finds the result for cos 0.5. It finds the result for cos 0.5. So what is the result? 0.877583. Can you see students? So the resultant value is also a floating point value. The resultant value is a floating point value. That's why we have declared the variable x variable and result variable. We have declared the x variable and the result variable in double. It is declared as a double data type. If you want, you can declare as float, long double. So based on the value what we are giving. Based on the value what we are giving. For example, if I want to find for cos 2.5. So this is for 0.5. Now if I want to find out for cos 2.5. So when I press F11, so it finds the result for cos 2.5. What is the result? Minus 0.801144. Minus 0.801144. Can you understand, students? So using the cos function, you can find the cos value. So it is used to find out the cos of the cos value for the given variable. It is used to find the cos value for the given variable. Right. So output they have shown you cos 0.5 is equal to 0.877583. So after the decimal point you can see 6 digits. After the decimal point you can see 6 digits. Right. Now we are going to see the next function sqrt. Now we are going to see the next function sqrt. So you know very well about sqrt. What is mean by sqrt? In mathematics you might have studied square root. Sqrt means square root. Sqr means square. But if it is sqrt, it is square root. So this function, the square root function, is used to find out used to return the square root of the given value. Whatever the value we are giving, so that particular value will be find out the square root. We are going to find out the square root for the given value. And then the sqrt function takes a single non-negative argument. So you cannot pass a negative value. You should not pass a negative value. You should pass only a positive value. For positive value only we can find out the square root. Can you understand, students? sqrt function is used to find out the square root of the given value, and then this function is used to take only positive value, and then at least one argument we should give. At least one argument we should give. That argument should be a non-negative value. Non-negative value means it should be a positive value. Can you understand, students? Then you might ask another question. Sir, when we pass a negative value, then what will happen? It results in a error. If a negative value is passed as an argument to sqrt function, a domain error occurs. A domain error. Simply it shows the error. It cannot find out the square. It cannot find out the square root for a negative value. It cannot find out the square root for the negative value. Can you understand, students? Now you can see the example. So hash include IO stream, hash include math.h. Then using namespace std into main. So inside the main function, see here, double x equal to 25. Double x equal to 25. You can give integer, no need to give double, because we are going to deal only with the whole numbers. So we can change it as integer, no problem. You can declare integer, float or double, whatever the data type you like, you can declare. Whatever the data type you like, you can declare. There is no problem at all. So they have given double x equal to 625. So we are going to pass the variable x. We are going to pass the variable x for the square root function. We are going to pass the variable x for the square root function, and then the square root function will return a result. The square root function will return a result. That result should be stored in the variable called result. Right? Whenever it finds the square root of 625, what is the square root for 625? I think it is 25. Is it correct, students? Yes. 25 into 25, it is 625. Yes? Right. Can you find out the square root for 81? Yes, the square root of 81 is 9. So 9 into 9, 81. So like that we can find out the square root for any number. So the result should be stored in the variable called result. Then we are using the sqrt function, we find out the result, and then it is stored in the variable result. Then we are printing the variable result. Can you understand, students? So simply we want to use the sqrt function, that's all. Now let us see this thing in a practical manner. So control plus n. So already I copied the program. So control plus v. After pasting the program, we want to save the program. So how to save the program means control plus s. So control plus s, I am going to save it as sqrt. File name is sqrt, press enter key. Then when I press F11, it shows sqrt of 625 is equal to sqrt of 625 is equal to 25. Can you understand, students? Right. Let us change the 625 value to 81. Now what will happen? So when I give 81, so what is the square root of 81? So 9 is the square root of 81. Can you understand, students? If you want to change it as 16, you can change 16, no problem. So when I press F11, it shows the result. 4 4s are 16. If I give a number such as 15, now what will happen, students? 15 is, we cannot find out the square root, but the result will be a floating point number. See, 3 3s are 9. 3 3s are 9. But 15 does not comes under any other number. But when we find out the square root, the result will be a floating point number, 3.87298. Can you see that? Whatever the number we are giving, it will find out the square root. But the square root will not be a whole number. It will be a floating point number. Can you understand, students? Right. So here they have shown you sqrt of 625 is equal to 25. Right. So in this video we have discussed about the two functions. One is called the cost function, another one is called sqrt. Cost function is used to find out the cost value for the given variable. So we can use the cost function with the help of the header file called math.h. Math.h is a header file that should be included whenever we are using the mathematical functions. Like that, sqrt is also a mathematical function which is used to find out the square root of the given number, right? And then we should not pass a negative value for the square root function because it shows error. We cannot find out the square root for the negative value. Can you understand, students? So I hope you might have understood this video. So let's end the class. So thank you, students.